Mic check. following is a special presentation. From the Captain Esports Network.
This isn't just a game. This is iRacing. It has almost been a month since we have seen the Xfinity cars on track in Sim500 Racing. And tonight, the return of the Sunday night series here on the Captain Esports Network as we get ready for 160 miles of racing on this 2-mile oval, D-shaped oval that is. About 60 miles or so to the west of Detroit, or Detroit as you like to call it, where the Indy cars raced just a little bit ago. About, 50 miles or so west of that school in blue. And many miles away from the other 16,000 Michigan schools there are. But anyways, we're ready to go racing here tonight at the Michigan Speedway for the Sim500 NC811.org Xfinity Series. I'm the captain. Gonna get the rust out. I've literally done 2 broadcasts in the last couple weeks. I haven't done many. Again, back into rhythm here as we get past the Memorial Day holiday, and for these guys, it was a matter of getting past the All-Star Week, Memorial Day, Mother's Day. Every holiday you can think of happened in the month of May, it seemed like on Sunday. Race day, so many different things, but needless to say, we are ready to go. Let's take a look and recap the last month of racing with our point standings. Of course, we're 16 races in. We have 4 races to go before we get into the playoffs, and Braxton DeWeese continues to show the point. The only thing that's missing in his column right now is right there in the wins. That number 0 says a lot right there, as he has done all of this on the reigns of top 5 finishes, top 10s, consistency, and he leads the points by 31 points over the Daytona winner from the spring, Stephen Miles. Mike Kelly with his 2 wins there in third. Chad Coleman, another driver with no wins. He's right up there at fourth. Wesley Donaldson continues to be right there in the top 5. But you got to remember, 16 drivers make the playoffs in this Sim500 Xfinity Series. So you got to look down here to Tommy Ryan, who is the bubble guy right now. Tommy with 4 poles this season, 1 win, 2 top 5s, 4 top 10s. Is right there on the bubble. Bob Gillenwater's right there. J.P. Phillips is there. Kevin Stone, Jeff Ryan, Brian Wortman, all of these guys are within striking distance here. And even you go further down to Gerald Livingston, Josh Parker, Eric Arnold, Doug Sigmund. I mean, use Justin Fuller as an example up here. Look how many starts Fuller has made. 11. He has made 5 less starts than everybody. And he sits up here 8th in points. So these guys down here at the bottom, and there could be some people outside of this list that could easily pounce their way up into the top 16 and into the playoffs. So you got to continue to be consistent. You got to continue to do your best and try to avoid trouble when it comes to the next couple races to get into the playoffs. Now, as we talked about it, as we go look at the last couple of races that have happened here before we took our little off time here between Mother's Day, again, the All-Star race, Memorial Day, and so on and so forth. We go all the way back. Our last race was May 5th at Nashville Superspeedway. John Schweikert going to victory lane and getting that first win, leading 61 out of 110 laps. So obviously he went to victory lane in that race. Then it was the Milwaukee Mile. Robert Friery III picking up his first win of the campaign. So we've seen a lot of new winners here this season. The 14th race at Pocono, Justin Fuller. Of course, that's his last win he's had on the Xfinity side, but he, of course, had a hot streak going. When you go back to these last couple of races, I mean, Fuller getting the win at Pocono and what was a wild finish there. He had a top 3 there at Kansas, where Tommy Ryan picked up the win there in April. And then the first race in April, of course, was the Stephen Miles win over Fuller. So there's so many things that can happen here these next couple of weeks as we get towards the playoffs, but so much obviously to go. And those 4 races coming up starts tonight here at Michigan. Next Sunday night, we go to Chicagoland Speedway. The following Sunday, we turn right and go to Watkins Glen International Raceway on the 16th. Then we go to Talladega on the 23rd to wrap up the regular season. So will it be playoff time, or in baseball terms, will it be the June swoon for the drivers to get into the playoffs before we kick them off at the end of June in Bristol? Only time can tell before it's all said and done. But that is where we see the points at right now. Let's take some time here. We got a couple minutes before qualifying begins. As a matter of fact, we have not even a couple. We have less than a minute. So I was going to try to talk to a driver here before we get into, but I rambled too much. And the guy I would probably want to talk to is not even here, unfortunately. So I was going to talk to Tommy Ryan, but Tommy is MIA right now. So unfortunate there. So either way, we'll get ready to go qualifying here in 30 seconds. Braxton's here. Let's do this. Let's talk to Braxton really quickly. Braxton, obviously, getting ready to go qualifying here in 20 seconds. But, man, obviously we go into the month of June, and hard to believe with the way you've ran this season, there is still no wins in that column. How do we change that?
Just be there when it counts there at the end. We've been there, I feel like, for every other part except there at the end. So, hopefully we can, I say this every week, but hopefully we can change that around and do better this week. But, that's all we can do is just, try our best and, hope we're up there. So hopefully we have a little bit of the home track advantage on our side, even though this track's like 4 hours away. It's the closest track to me on the schedule. So it's the home track. So hopefully we get a little bit of that luck on our side, and hopefully we can close it out at the ends and, keep up the good run.
Did you get the fog out of the city?
Yes, the fog is gone. It is nice, and it's beautiful here.
Awesome. I love it. So, all right, man, best of luck, and we will maybe see you at Victory Lane.
Yes, sir. I hope, Chris. I appreciate you, man.
You too, buddy. Braxton Luis with the points lead going into tonight, and the joke there was I actually drove down south and drove through their hometown of Miamisburg, Ohio, which is down just to the south of Dayton, and ran into some fog one morning. And I'm like, I of course take a photo of it, and I sent the message to Braxton. I said, dude, get this stuff out of here. What's this all about? But anyways, all right, qualifying about to begin. Of course, qualifying presented by 811 Notes Below and call before you dig. As Jose Gonzalez out on track. Jose right down below where you saw the last name there at 25th position in points. He's 26th as we go into qualifying here. Let's see what Jose and others can do. As you will get 2 laps of qualifying. See who can put down the hot lap here. Almost wide open here. These cars are the fastest cars outside of open wheel cars that race here at this track now. Believe it or not, with the speeds and the horsepower and stuff in them, these cars will sit at 190 miles an hour into the corner, where the next-gen cars, I believe, just end up shy of it. As Robert Friery jumps to the pole over Brian Scott so far. I'm sorry, Brent Scott. Brian Scott's a former Xfinity driver. Mac McMillan returns to the series, 39.44 for him. Chad Coleman with a 51. Gillenwater with a 52. Jose Gonzalez slots in P5th. Newcomer Jordan Berry in the 9 car, at least newcomer this season. As we just talked to Braxton Deweese, and he jumps to second with a 39.46 as McMillan ran at 43. Who else we got out here? Looking to get themselves a hot lap. Here's Mike Kelly with 2 wins this season. Kelly, I think, is just starting his hot lap here. Bob Gillenwater back into series. E.J. O'Rourke on track. Here's Jeff Ryan in the 3 car, going to cross the line. Uh-oh, I see some purple on Macklin. Let's see what Macklin can do as he comes off of turn 4 down to the start-finish line. And Macklin slots in 10th, 39.57. He must have had a rough turn 3 and 4. And a good old welcome back to this guy. How about this? Pedro Mojica. I think it's like his 3rd start of the season, 3rd or 4th. Not many for this 58 car. Of course, last season's champion in both the Cup and Xfinity Series. One of the winningest drivers in the series as Tyler Dalton crosses the line, goes P1, 39.38. Caught that out of the corner of my eye. Let's see if Pedro can get himself into a rhythm here. Maybe a little rust, maybe not. We'll have to see. As Logan Quinn is sitting at Chili's, of course, with Wesley Donaldson, fresh off a Gateway race just ended a little bit ago. You wonder if they are going to get the wing special, which is a pretty good wing, by the way, there, surprisingly. You wouldn't expect Chili's to have good wings, but they do. Pedro goes 25th, 39.86. That's only his first lap, though, so he's still got a hot lap here to go. Let's see what he can do in his second lap. Of course, you got the 2 for $20 deal they've had forever and a day at Chili's, so you can go get that. And I'm sure Corey LaJoie will support or appreciate your support. As Mojica crosses the line, P19, 39.6. Good to see the champ back on track. And obviously, he probably hadn't even sat behind the rig much and stuff here, but great job on his part. And it looks like Tyler Dalton will be on the pole here tonight for the race here. Sean Macklin slots in 18th at the last second in his ride. So we're going to go trackside, get you ready for the start of this race here from the Michigan Speedway. But always a reminder, know it's below and call before you dig. Thank you to NC811. Let's go trackside.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, anthem is done, and we go trackside as we return tonight. First time in 4 weeks, the Xfinity Series on track, and we get you the starting lineup here from the Michigan Speedway. Tyler Dalton on the pole as he continues his record-setting career of starting first. In the return of Mac McMillan tonight, outside of row 1, there is the Nashville winner from a month ago, John Schweikert on the inside, and the young man looking for his first career win, Braxton DeWeese there on the outside. Eric Arnold, Brian Macklin there in row 3. E.J. O'Rourke and his buddy Justin Fuller. Couple of units cars there on row 4. Row 5, Chad Coleman and Glenn Campbell. Bob Gillenwater, Nelson Rivera there in row number 6. Row 7, Jason Karlovage and Stephen Miles, Charles Van Schaik and Doy Woods, Mike Kelly, Sean Macklin, Jordan Berry returning tonight, the Canadian driver that's starting in 19th, Robert Friday the 3rd in 20th, Pedro Mojica making his return to the series, and Jose Speedy Gonzalez there in 22nd, Brent Scott, Matt Martell, they take row number 12. Row 13, Jeff Ryan, Scott Simley, Kevin Stone, Alan Wild, Joe Hudson, Kevin DeBrown, David Santini, and Josh Parker. Joey Gittini, no relation to Satini, had to throw it in there somewhere, and Barry Stevens. Brian Wortman, Mark Schrader in row 18, and Gerald Livingston taking the 37th and final position. Race information tonight, 80 laps, 160 miles, the usual iRacing default weather, 3 sets of tires, 2 overtimes if needed, and we'll talk about that here in a short bit. But of course, you can check out sim500.com for all the race details, season that's coming up, and so much more. Super Speedway Series Tuesday nights, Midnight Thunder Friday nights, Truck Series Wednesday nights. So much fun to do in this season. So as I figured it out, Logan Quinn and Wesley Donaldson, using the NASCAR promotions, went to Overstock.com, bought a Freightliner, went to Chili's, and had a Busch Light. That sound about right? As pace car pulls off into the hands of Tyler Dalton and Mac McMillan to the green flag into the start zone, and Justin Fuller, something wrong with him as we go green. Not sure if he missed a shift or something, but great job for everybody to avoid him. Our cameras, as usual, presented by TrackCams22.com. You can check them out online on Facebook and the iRacing forums at TrackCams22.com. As Dalton clears off turn 1. And caution's going to come out immediately. Alan Wild into the wall hard along. Somebody was spinning backwards. Kevin DeBrown. And unfortunately, a little bit of rust maybe in the Xfinity cars for these guys as caution comes out for the first time. It is something I was going to bring up as we talked about the 2 overtimes. Lately here in this series, the cautions have picked up. There have been some rule changes, and the finishes have seen a lot of interestingness to it. Looked like 3 wide. Somebody got hooked. Scott Simley, can add him to the list. That car, whoever that was, went running like he was going to get tagged. That looked like a game of Red Rover, and you just kind of, or tag or something, you go all the way to the left like the miss. That's what that looked like. But caution out for the first time here. As Kevin DeBrown and others, let's see if we can go crash cam here and get a view of this. Play flag football and you do the bend all the way to the left. Just squeezed, unfortunately. I think Kevin went to follow the draft of that car and didn't realize Simley was still out there, unfortunately. And whoever that is down there. Allen got a good piece of this, unfortunately, in that 15 car. Oh, he gets hit by Parker right there, too, and Parker clips the 12, and heavy damage there. Wortman doing a good job missing. Gerald Livingston coming through, so unfortunately, caution out here. For the first time early, going to see some guys towards the back of the field come to pit road, it looks like. I think that was Mark Schrader, by the way. It was Mark Schrader who played the game of tag here. Watch this. One of those, you see the guy coming chasing you, and you're going to do everything you can. Make sure you don't get tagged. Run away, run away, run away, run away. But unfortunately, there's a wall down here, and he can't turn the wheel that well. Clips it a little bit. Probably going to have some left side damage to fix. Unfortunate break there for a couple cars as Kevin Brown goes to pit road. So who do we expect to run well tonight? Well, I did some research on this, and I went back and looked at some of the history of the Speedway races here in the Sunday night series. And there's been some pretty good drivers here. The usuals, Daniel Falkingham, Pedro Mojica, Byron Daly. You go back to those guys. Have 14-plus wins amongst those three. You look at the top 5 category, Falkingham with 56. But then the guy in second in overall top 5s on a mile-and-a-half track or bigger, there's speedway tracks. Chad Coleman is second with 47. And, of course, he actually leads the top 10 list with 92. Now, yes, granted, he does have the most starts in series history, but still, to have that many top 5s and top 10s, Chad Coleman going to be one to watch here tonight. Pedro Mojica's in the race tonight, so, hey, he's going to be one to watch, of course, with 22 wins, 43 top 5s on Speedway-style tracks. This all according to the Sim Racer Hub website. Tommy Ryan's on the list, but I don't think he's here tonight. Mike Kelly's on the list, right up here at the top. Justin Fuller, Bob Gillenwater, just to name a few guys who you could expect to be up there towards the front when we get to lap 80 here this evening. But that doesn't mean some of these newcomers or some of the guys that maybe have not made as many starts could end up here at the front, as obviously that's why we run the race, because anything can happen. As we're under caution here at lap number 4 in this race here at the Michigan Speedway. And we're going to come to the green flag here at lap number 4. Tyler Dalton, Mac McMillan, Braxton DeWeese, John Schweiker, and Eric Arnold leading them to the green flag here. As Dalton launches. Hey, sweetie, everything okay? Hello? Lucy. So 6 laps in the books this time by, as Dalton continues to lead. He's got 0.3 of a second over Braxton DeWeese, Mac McMillan, John Schweikert, and of course Brian Macklin are your top 5. And this draft does a lot of the work here at this kind of track. When you carry speeds of 180 to 190 miles an hour down into these turns, it allows the pack to kind of stay together. You get multi-groove racing here. Charles Van Schaik back there, the 23 car. Bob Gillenwater there in the 4. Up here, Eric Arnold, Chad Coleman. Nelson Rivera there in that 22 car. The 60 of Carl Lavage. Good to see him in the race here tonight. E.J. O'Rourke running up there at 6th. Probably going to try to get that E.J. lane going here momentarily. Is coming off of pit road. That is Brent Scott, unfortunately. In the 33 car, he is 2 laps down for some reason. Didn't see him involved in that wreck, but I might not have caught it either. As we get going tonight, I want to remind you, 4D Racewear has gloves and shoes for iRacing drivers. If you're looking for something to add to your apparel, gloves or shoes that are very comfortable to race with. I ran them multiple times this weekend at Indy, even though I didn't do anything with them, obviously, than wreck. But you can check them out. Go to 4dracewear.com. There's a link down in the description there, or at least the website. You can just copy and paste the 4D Racewear and just add .com to it, and you can be a part of the website and go check it out. Big shout out to Jim Herrick and 4D Racewear. 9 laps complete after that early caution. As O'Rourke looks outside of the 30 of Brian Macklin. A tough break there for Alan Wild. That's just a bad spot, wrong time, wrong place there for the 15 car. Might have to pull out the golf. Oh, Doy Woods hooked into the wall. Oh, Van Schaik Miles gets clipped, and that's going to bring the caution out here. Oh, that was a lick for the 28. And caution number 2 out here in lap 10. Yeah, Charles Van Schaik. A little bit up here, a little bit more. I already started as that happened. That's tough to call. They'll have to go crash cam. Miles gets clipped, so does Gonzalez. Tina and others go to the grass. Let's get you as promised. Go crash cam here. There's Van Schaik down there in the bottom. Kind of tries to get himself in line. About wrecked himself doing it. We got some cars coming to pit road here early. I mean, this should be a one-stopper for everybody, so maybe this is for tires. Yeah, I see Doy just come up just a little. I mean, Charles was coming down, but Doy just comes up a little bit. There you see Miles' hood goes flying. Gonzalez with heavy damage there. You see the smoke off that car. But it's like Doy moves up just a click there right before the contact. Let's get you one more look at this from the crash cam. You're going to see them in turn 1 and 2 here, and I'll slow it down. I'll show you the pit stops here because a lot of cars came to pit road, a lot more than I thought originally. Van Schaik gets very tight there trying to squeeze in that hole, which really wasn't a big hole, or was a big hole, but he obviously didn't want to hit the wall. Then they go into turn 3 here. Van Schaik running right on the seam here, and then watch. It could have been netcode that caused this too. Who knows? But you see the 28 just kind of slide up right there. Just that little bit. And bam. I mean, that's a lick right there. And then Gonzalez, unfortunately, he's in a sandwich between Parker and Miles and blows his motor up. Tough break there for Doy and a couple others who heavily involved in that wreck. As mentioned, we had pit stops. Let's go to those real quickly, as it looks like a lot of cars came to pit road. I'm counting 8 cars that did not pit here. So we'll see how much tires play a role here. All right, we'll come back, get you reset for the green flag. But first, let's hear from 811 as you're watching Sim500 and the NC811.org Xfinity Series on the Captain Esports Network.
This tree is going to look great here.
Did you call 811 to protect your underground utilities?
I can't wait to see these roses come up.
Dig, dig, dig! Wait, we forgot to call 811.
Before you dig, make sure you can. Call 811 to know what's below. It's up to all of us to protect the ones we love.
14 laps complete, back under green as you see Tyler Dalton clear. The 41 of E.J. O'Rourke, who moves up to second. The top 5 cars have stayed out here. Josh Parker, fuel only on the first caution in lap 2. He runs in the 6th position now. Charles Van Schaik, and then the rest of the field who pitted for tires and fuel run up in the pretty much 8th position on back as we're 3 wide for the lead. O'Rourke goes to the E.J. lane with Dalton and the 31 of Eric Arnold on the bottom. Chad Coleman coming into play here. O'Rourke loves to run that top side. It wears the tires out, as they say in iRacing, but hey, he is not afraid to go up there and put it against the boards. And he is going to put that unit's number 41 into the lead. At lap 15, Dalton continues to fight there on that bottom side. As Mike Kelly right there with him, the 88 of McMillan. Here comes your fresh tires into play here. Tell you what, Dalton has not let go of this lead. This is a great battle up here at the front. That draft playing a big role as finally O'Rourke's going to get cleared for a split second, shuts the door on him. And now that opens the door for Coleman. Braxton DeWeese moving up into the top 5 now. As look at this, 2-3 wide racing everywhere on this track. Everybody, oh, caution back out. Back here, Mark Schrader has gone off in the 83. I don't see anyone else with some damage. And let's see what brings to caution out here at the 83 on lap 16. Oh, contact with somebody there. When flying in the air, I turned my head for a split second, and the wreck ensues. There he is. Sorry, I was trying to get to the I couldn't find his name. Let's try to get. There it is. Now let's see as they come off turn number 4 here. You've got the 3 of Jeff Ryan there on his outside. You got the and they're door banging each other here for some reason. More door banging, and now they wreck each other. I mean, I don't know what to say about that one. I don't know if it was a pride thing or what the deal is. But they just kind of beat the tar out of each other going down the straightaway here, trying to figure out who wanted the position more. Oh, so Jeff Ryan and Mark Schrader bring out the caution here. I'm going to mute my mic for just a split second here. All right, here we go. 20 laps complete. Quarter distance already in and 3 cautions early. You saw, as I was muted there for a split second, you saw the camera cut down to Tyler Dalton and those guys came to pit road. They are going to restart all the way back into 21st position as Dalton, Arnold, Coleman, Kelly, Van Schijk, Kevin Stone, Joe Hudson, Brent Scott, Gerald Livingston, Brian Wortman all came to pit road there at the caution. As we go back racing here, E.J. O'Rourke, now your leader, Braxton DeWeese, Mac McMillan, pretty much the guys that pitted at the previous caution, just jumped back to the front. The thing you should note is this is still a one-stop race for everybody, because you have to be able to get to lap 40, which is the optimum 40, 41, 42 laps on a tank of fuel. You obviously do the math on that. That takes you to lap 60. So everybody's still got one stop in them. But obviously the way the cautions have flown here, this could easily become a wild card here before this thing is over with. As Mac McMillan at Bully Dog Coffee Company number 88 returns to the front after a couple-week hiatus. Here he is. As now Braxton to the bottom. As these guys try to get back into a rhythm. You could easily say this was expected out of these guys tonight, having a whole entire month off from driving these cars. And some say this is one of the tougher cars to drive in this series. Macklin looking for somewhere to go. John Schweikert jumping into play now as you see back there Brian Macklin and E.J. O'Rourke teaming up. Or I'm sorry, not Brian Macklin, Justin Fuller. The 2 units cars trying to be 1 unit. As Macklin drives it to the bottom. Tight. As Braxton sends it in there into turn 1, see if he can make the clear pass. He could not. As look at the push from the 1 car. This is where it gets tough to pass at Michigan, because you want to be able to clear on the bottom, and if you don't, that train is just going to go choo-choo on by in that outside lane, and that's what's happening to Braxton right here as he continues to fight on that bottom side. As we ride with the 88 down to turn 1, along with Schweikert in the 1 car. There's a 30 of Brian Macklin, the 5 of Braxton DeWeese. As these guys race hard for the lead. Here at lap number 25 of this race. And McMillan finally clears Schweikert up to second. This is what Michigan brings, all this type of racing. Look back here in this mess. David Santini, the 15th place car. We'll call him the 79 car. He's got the 36 as his registered number. He's got the 44 of Glenn Campbell there in the middle, 31 of Eric Arnold at the bottom. And there's Tyler Dalton, the guys that just led coming off pit road back here in this Hornet's nest for 12th and 13th and 14th positions. And Friary gets turned into a wall, so does Campbell and Santini. No caution yet. They're still hooked together here. Now the caution comes out. Racing hard for the same piece of real estate, and unfortunately the 4th caution. This caution took a long time to come out, but look at this. I mean, they're 4 wide right there for a split second, down to 3. Here comes Dalton. They're almost going to make it 5 wide right here. They're 4 here, and then Friery and Dalton just come together. You see more contact with the Santini and Campbell. And these boys definitely having 3 weeks off from Sunday night racing have brought the anticipation in. I mean, they're pretty much 5 wide right there. Jatina just misses. Somebody lost a wing back there, a wing. Here's the open car terms. A spoiler back there or something, or a deck lid. Let's ride with the Jatina car here for a second. There's the wreck. I mean, side scrapes the other cars there, so he's trying to miss everything. And add them to the carnage list here at lap 28 is Mac McMillan, if I could say it right. Macklin and others coming to pit road here. All right, so 1 to go, lap number 30 about to be in the books here, so 50 laps to go, and now we're getting to that point where it's like, okay, how many more cautions, if it's 1 or 2 more, can we come to pit road, top off the tank, and maybe go the rest of the way on fuel? This is interesting. That's what Michigan's about, seems like, fuel mileage everywhere. All right, as they come to the green flag, lap number 31. As John Schweikert leads, Justin Fuller, Braxton Deweese, Sean Macklin, and Nelson Herrera are top 5. Look at that 58 car. Are we used to seeing this picture? Pedro Mojica working his way up into the top 5 as he battles side by side with Rivera. Eric Arnold in that battle. So is Carl Lavage. Oh, Macklin and Mojica was getting into each other there. These guys are just tight off of turn 2. You see if they calm down here for a little bit. We've seen a little bit of yellow fever here during the early portion of this race. What I think happens here is you get early into the race, you get cars out here that, you know, see the cautions happen, and they feel the urgency to have to go, and what it does is it creates more cautions, unfortunately. I think that's kind of what we've seen here a little bit. Everybody just takes a deep breath here. You still got 47 laps. You got plenty of time to work your way forward. Yes, this is a very tough racing group to race against, but just do what your car can give you at that moment. You see McMillan down there at the bottom, trying to get around Karlovaj, trying to get around Rivera. Coleman's in this picture. EJ ripping the boards again, as he usually does. As up front, Justin Fuller to the lead, with Deweese trying to follow him. Eric Arnold trying to go with him here. Arnold coming so close to getting that first win here in these last couple of weeks. Yeah, Parker sending it on the bottom. O'Rourke sending it on the top side. Oh, no, O'Rourke's in the wall. Got a little loose there. Everybody scatters. Meanwhile, up front, 3 wide for the lead again. Michigan racing at its finest right here. As those that pitted right at the lap 28 caution go to the lead. Mac McMillan, Josh Parker, Eric Arnold, and others. Mojica now in the middle, 3 wide. This race is either going to drive him to race more or drive him back to the couch, where he's like, I'm going to go back to the family. Bob Gillenwater in there, Brent Scott. So, I mean, this is all back around the 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th position. There's Martell and Rivera. Tyler Dalton back into play now. Got that nose damage fixed, it looks like, on that 19. You have the warm track temperature you have here too. That's not helping things because you got cars sliding around everywhere, obviously trying to get their track position and so on and so forth. But Hey, more importantly, appreciate the viewers hanging out here tonight, coming back and joining us on this Sunday evening. If you're new to the chat, of course, you can hit that subscribe button and be a part of that. By the way, I can happily announce to the viewers that the month of May, talking about how big of a month it was for some people with the Indy 500 and stuff, turned out to be the biggest month in the Captain Esports Network history when it comes to views. And that, a lot of that comes down to the shorts that I've been putting up on YouTube with the finishes of races and so on and so forth. Big shout out to all the viewers who've watched those on the shorts and have liked them and maybe even shared them out amongst their groups. But we saw an all-time high in numbers in the month of May on the Captain Esports Network this year, this past month, I should say. So great news there, and I'm going to continue to do my best to get those out. I'm a little behind right now on the shorts because of, like, you know, the Indy 500 racing and stuff I tried to do this weekend and so on and so forth. So thank you as always. I am very much humbled and appreciated by all the viewers here. And if you're watching tonight because you saw one of the shorts and you're like, hey, let me go see what this captain guy's about, I appreciate you coming to join us. And I would love to know if you're one of them so I could say hi and say thank you. We come to the halfway point. You see the 2, you see the 3 wide. I mean, just track position coming into play here. Different tire strategies. McMillan leads by all of 0.8 of a second. Josh Parker putting the pressure on him. E.J. O'Rourke back there in third now after scraping up the wall. There is Brian Macklin, Eric Arnold now your top 5. And then this. Now, the pit window is open now. We're at 41 laps. You can get to pit road when needed and make it the rest of the way on fuel. But I think with the tires, you really can't afford to do it right now. I think you're at too much of a risk to pull an undercut here and try to make a move on somebody like that. If you're watching tonight also, I do ask, share this with friends. Share it with family. You're in a Facebook page group. Share it with them. Run over next door to your neighbor who just got out of the shower. Probably accidentally you're knocking on the door while he did that. Trust me, I do that at least once a month when I'm delivering packages. I'll knock and the guy comes out in a towel and I'm like, dude, I'm sorry. I know it's bad timing, but here's your package. It happens. Joe Hudson in that Christmas-colored 43 car, I guess you can call that. I think that's an owl. It is. It's a Hooters paint scheme. Okay. Anyways, an interesting look. As he tries to get around Carl Levine, Braxton Luis back there with him now as these guys more on the older tires. The best guy right now who is not pitted in that last caution is Eric Arnold, 5th position, pitted at lap 18. Last I checked, I'm not sure. Yeah, I won't get into too much detail about it, but I know Eric Arnold was on baby watch. I don't know if that's still the case for him. Congrats to he and his partner. All right, so the car's settling down now to single file here. I guess you can call it settling down, whatever you want to call this close racing. Pretty fun to watch, I'll tell you that. Try with the Ironman Chad Coleman, 15th position here. Runs right on that seam. Kind of helps de-wedge the car a little bit, turn it a little bit more, let it rotate. See right there the way the car kind of transitions. It is a lesser bank at the bottom of the track there. Do you see that's going to hurt Coleman going down there, it looks like, as that chrome 43 car goes by. First time I've seen a close-up. That's actually a pretty cool looking car. Here's Glenn Campbell in the 44. was involved in a little bit of an accident earlier, but doing pretty well now, along with Mike Kelly there in the 12th position. Joey Jatina's come to pit road. Not sure if that's a scheduled pit stop or not in the 14 car. We'll have to see. As it is, it looks like a scheduled stop as he leaves his stall after a 15-second stop. But look at this. We got a new compadre coming up here in the 3rd position, Brian Macklin. You know, and I do want to follow up on something, too. I saw a post earlier on Twitter from a driver that has had some family members affected with mental health illnesses and stuff like that, and unfortunate circumstances there. I know May was technically Mental Health Awareness Month, and we go into the month of June, but I think this is one of those situations where every day should be treated like it's a mental health day or month, because you never know, friends or family members, as Mike Kelly's going to come to pit road here, friends or family members that could be suffering from anything. And speaking from a guy, and I'm putting it out in public here, that has been diagnosed with OCD a couple years ago, and always make sure you check on your friends and family. So you know, anxiety and all that different stuff plays a role. As Joey Jacina just jumped back to the pits. Not sure what happened to the 14 car. But pit stops for Kelly and Rivera, and those guys leave pit road. I say that because you just never know in life when something can happen, or it's a rough thing to have any kind of an illness, and including a mental illness. The best thing I can tell you, go seek help and do what you got to do. Life's great. Put it like that. So McMillan and Parker have pulled away from Macklin again, about 1.3 seconds as he tries to catch up. So I'm kind of intrigued by that strategy. Those are the guys that I think pitted somewhere in that lap 11 to 18 caution, somewhere in that range. I didn't see the exact number, so those guys have now tires and fuel. I was just talking about pulling away from Macklin. Macklin has slid back in and taken the 2nd position away from Josh Parker. All right, 50 laps complete before we get to the final round of pit stops. Let's step away real quick, get a break in. As you're listening, or watching, I should say, the NC811.org Xfinity Series on the Captain Esports Network.
When do you plan on putting in that new fence we've been talking about since last summer?
I guess I could start tomorrow.
Protect the ones you love and protect your buried utilities by contacting 811 before you dig, either by phone, the web, or the NC811 app. Know what's below before you dig. Visit nc811.org to learn more.
All right, your points leader, Braxton Deweese on pit road, lap number 51. In for 4 tires and fuel. As you see the leaders passing the start-finish line right now as that Ford Mustang pulls away. As these are scheduled pit stops for those that pitted under the earlier cautions as they try to make their final pit stop here, and they need this race just to stay green. Let it keep going as Schweikert way overshoots his pit stall. Kevin Stone on pit road. So the question now is, when do these guys come to pit road that pitted at the lap 28 caution? Do you short pit here and get tires on the car and run with these other guys, or do you run your own strategy here? As you see Sean Macklin, the 32 goes by and it blinks. Bob Gillenwater, Campbell, Coleman, Mojica, Karlovage, Tyler Dalton all on pit road here. Show you where everybody is on track. So those guys pull away. You see Mike Kelly going by there. Obviously, he just made his pit stop. There goes Macklin, Sean, that is. And then the rest of the field. Not sure who that 18 car is. They're coming to pit. Oh, that might be Jordan Berry. That's who that is. Okay. I have to look at the unfamiliar numbers and be like, okay, match who up with names. That's Jordan Berry in the 18 car as he comes to pit road in that custom. I should know that paint scheme because Jordan Berry paints cars. That's what he does with. As he blows by pit road, had it ready, goes in reverse. It's a custom. I forget the name of them. But I know Jordan races. He's actually going to be in another league that I'll be broadcasting on Tuesday nights here in the very near future. But Fuller, Berry, and Gerald Livingston on pit road. As McMillan continues to lead. Here comes whole bunch of Micks in here. 5 of Braxton DeWeese, who's not even a Mick. Not a McMurray or a Macklin or a McMillan, McFadden. He's DeWeese. And he unlaps himself. From the pack, Chad Coleman does also. As O'Rourke, Arnold, and Van Shank come to pit road. I think the longer these guys go, the more they're trying to play the caution game. Martell and Simley now to pit road. So these guys, if they stay out and run this tank all the way out, they're looking at pitting. I mean, they still got another 10 laps. I mean, 28 right now. We're at 58, 30 laps. You can go 40 on a tank of fuel, so they could easily go to 13 laps to go. I think that's too long, though. I don't know if you want to go that far. Then again, your tires are going to be pretty fresh if you do, so I don't know here. This is a tough situation right here. Barry Stevens on pit road in that 79 car. We got multiple 79 cars, I just realized. I mean, look at McMillan just playing with the throttle, so he is on the struggle bus out there with those tires right now. Macklin, first one on pit, or one of the first ones on pit road here, the leaders. Four tires and fuel, and he pulls away. 14.9, good stop on his part. So that leaves us as Parker comes to pit road now, locks it up. I was about to say McMillan, Scott, Parker, Hudson, Wortman are pretty much the only cars left to pit here. As Parker and Hudson come to pit road now. So, I mean, once I see everything cycle through here, I'm thinking the leader of this race is about to be Mike Kelly. As McMillan comes to pit road now. 21 laps to go. After the 4 early cautions, this race has gone green all of a sudden here. And, oh, he might be too far to the left. Four tires and 18 point, was it 18.7, I think it is. Gallons of coffee into that car, and here he goes. You would think I'd know this, but I just had a brain moment. I've been driving, like I said, I've ran like 4 Indy 500s this weekend. Didn't really do good in any of them. So I've been driving the open wheel car a lot more, so forgive me if my terminologies are off a little bit here. As caution comes out as Brent Scott's on pit road. Pedro Mojica and Glenn Campbell. Oh, this is interesting. This is going to work out perfect for a couple of cars. Will this bring people to pit road? If so, Scott's going to be the leader of this race. Obviously, he's going to fall back with cars getting past him here. But Brian Wortman is still the leader of this race. Wortman in that Morgan Shepherd paint scheme that he likes to run with NC811 there on the back. Let's see what happened to last season's champion making a one-off appearance in Glenn Campbell. And the reason why I said, oh, this is ironic, is last season it was Mojica running the Transervice car, which of course is Campbell's company that he works with and stuff. Get you a better shot of this. Go crash cam and see what brings out the 5th caution here. Fuller right on the left rear. Oh, they just come together. That's twice now we've seen 2 cars just absolutely get stuck together. As pit stops, and Bob Gillenwater stays out. A lot of cars staying out here. A lot of these cars, 4 tires and fuel, probably their last set of tires, if not to get to the finish of this race here. So very interesting call. Ooh, this is going to be good. All right, let's talk to one that up there in the top 3 positions. He's been running well and has a chance to get himself in position here to get himself a win tonight. Let me see if I can go find him in chat. This could be a minute. I'm not able to find him, it looks like. Up there he is. Eric Arnold in the number 31 car. Eric, got a copy, buddy?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. So Obviously, caution here with 15 laps to go. You've stayed out. Obviously, we've seen tire strategies going everywhere. Obviously, going to be, I think, a wild finish here. What do we got to do to keep this 31 car up front? And do we have a set of tires still left?
Drive it in hard, and yes, I do. I don't know if they'll be useful, though.
Well, we'll have to see what happens. But second note, I kind of made a mention of it and figured I would check. How's the family?
Amazing. My son is awesome. He's
Good.
adorable.
I wasn't
He's
sure
only
if he
peed
was
on
born
me a
yet.
couple times.
Well, that'll happen a lot more in life, trust me. But no, congratulations, you and family. So I wasn't sure yet, so I was like, hey, let me check on Eric. So congratulations.
Thank you, man.
Absolutely. Eric Arnold in the 31 car. He's focused. He's a dad. He's been urined on a few times, and he's hoping that he doesn't get urined on in this race either. That would be kind of awkward. Anyways, what is it? NC811 Motorsports, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's get him down there. So, there's a quote out there about being mad and urined on that kind of comes together in this situation. Let's hope neither come into play for anybody here. So, the top, looks like the top 10 cars stayed out here at Bob Gillenwater, leading this race. Brian Macklin, Eric Arnold, Scott Simley, Josh Parker, and Matthew Martell, Gerald Livingston, Mac McMillan, Joe Hudson, Glenn Campbell. Tyler Dalton, I think, went 2 tires on that pit stop. He's 11th, and then everybody else from 12th on back. Green flag, and let's dare turn it up. Josh Parker to the lead. Off turn 2 as he makes the pass on Macklin. You saw the other Macklin, Sean, unfortunately get the wall there on the restart and has fallen back, but we are seeing 2, 3, 4 wide like we've seen pretty much all race long here. As people with fresh tires, people with no tires, people with 2 tires trying to put themselves in position to win this race. We had 4 wide back there as Wortman trying to find somewhere to go. Scott Simley up to the 4th position. Mike Kelly up to 5th. Eric Arnold up to 6th. Or back to 6th, I should say. And caution back out. I don't know where it's at. Might be for Sean Macklin. It is for Sean Macklin, unfortunately. The 32 car had a good run going. Unfortunately, he's going to end on the wrong side of the tow truck bed. Oh, gets tapped there from Kevin Stone down there on the apron now. He goes directly through the blue cone and then decides he's just got to stop on track. All righty. Sure if he was off the pace or something going on there. Some tracks have a very aggressive system when it comes to those who tow back to the pits or whatever like that. Some tracks you can pull off like that and there's no issues. Some tracks you do that and, well, caution comes out. Chicago's one. Michigan's another. All right, who comes to pit road now? Scott Simley. Livingston, Mojica, Stevens, Campbell, Schrader, and Macklin obviously in the pits already. Excuse me. Let's pull this driver of the 2 car up here, Mr.
Oh,
Kelly.
boy.
Yeah, we haven't talked in a while there, guy.
How you been?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Oh, I'm sweating.
I bet you're up here.
In more ways than one.
Oh, easy now. Perspiration might need some deodorant for that. So 4th position right now for you. You got the newest tires out of the bunch here. From that caution, you come to pit road, obviously putting the work here. 1, you feel like you can win this race, and 2, well, let's go with number 1.
I felt like I did for sure before that yellow came out. Now I still feel like I do, but restarts are just so scary. I'm nervous, Chris, I'll tell you.
Nothing wrong with that. Obviously, first race back, I can tell there's a little bit of rust maybe in the B car with these guys, but it's definitely seen some excitement here.
Yeah, I mean, this track's plenty wide. Have to watch that broadcast to see what's going on for sure, but been pretty wild. I've stayed out of most of it, but now it's crunch time, and I'm just going to pray to the racing gods and try to bring this home to top 5, maybe get a win. I feel like I got a good chance. We'll see what happens.
So, a little bit of golf fun. How's that going for you?
Oh, I love the golf. It's a good thing to do on my spare time away from the racetrack. Relax a little bit.
Nothing wrong with that. Yeah. Trying to relax you a little bit here.
Play.
Trying to relax you a little bit here. So,
yeah, ease me to the start.
Best of luck, man.
Thanks. Hopefully I'll get to talk to you again here in a few minutes.
Sounds good, buddy. Mike Kelly, the 4th place driver. As let's get him back to his Turn 1 Heroes team that probably misses him dearly. And there he goes down there. Hey, these guys back in action tomorrow night, by the way, too. Cup Series going to be in action as Kevin and I back in the booth together again after a week off. And we've kind of let the series catch up a little bit, as Monday's been pretty much racing every week now for the last few weeks, as the Sunday night series has been off. And tomorrow night we go to Worldwide Technology Raceway, and it'll be race number 13. As we're at race 17 here tonight, still 4 races left in the regular season. How do we finish this one off? 7 to go. Next time by, we go green with 8 to go, as Parker, Macklin, McMillan, and Kelly are top 4. Fuller going to drop down to the bottom here as Kelly eases to the right rear of McMillan. Still 3 wide as Parker almost got the wall off 4. Here comes O'Rourke in the picture. Oh, McMillan and Kelly leaning on each other. Oh, big wreck. Martel got turned. Schweikert's in the wall. And once again, two cars get stuck together. The magnetic force of these cars. Ooh, so going to the corner, you see Karlovaj gets into Schweikert there a little bit. They're still leaning on each other, and they hit again. And it's just squeezed together, and a nice job by everybody to avoid that. Holy cow, that could have been worse. I mean, Karlovaj and Schweikert, those are two Scrabble winning names right there, battling with each other here at the bottom. And let's actually go back. Let's get you a crash cam here. There's already the first couple contacts there between these two, and then they lean slightly on each other here. Then they squeeze together, and yeah, they bam. Unfortunately, contacting in between the two. Martel, unfortunately, the innocent bystander. Ooh, what's going to happen? Yeah. Let's step away, though. Get another break in real quick from 811. Come back, get you the finish of this Xfinity race. It is Sim500 Racing on the Captain Esports Network.
What a nice day to install my new mailbox.
Hi there, friend. I'm Dig Safely Man. My job is to ensure you call 811 before you dig.
Why do I need to do that?
Vital utilities like natural gas and electric run just beneath the Earth's surface. Damaging them can cause service interruption, environmental hazards, or personal injury.
I thought only contractors had to call before they dig, so homeowners do too.
Call 3 business days before you dig unless you have X-ray vision. Visit nc811.org to learn more.
Back we are here at the Michigan Speedway, virtually on iRacing. Appreciate all the viewers who have come in to check us out here as we get ready for the finish of this Sim500 nc811.org Xfinity Series. Always a great reminder to call before you dig, especially as we get into the warm time. If you're putting a swimming pool in, or if you're doing whatever, if it has to do with digging, make sure you do call 811 a couple days prior before you do so you have a acknowledgement of what the situation is. Not to mention it is the law and so on and so forth. So make sure you do call 811 before you dig. And as always, think about the thunderstorms and stuff. Thoughts and prayers to everybody out in the Midwest, from Texas up to, heck, North Dakota. Even today I saw with tornadoes. So it has been an active season. You could even joke around, even though it's really not a joking topic, and say that tornado season this year has been drunk. But needless to say, in all seriousness, wow. Just thoughts and prayers to everybody. I mean, there's been some scary looking storms out there, and so on and so forth, from Texas all the way up to, heck, North Dakota, like I said. So thoughts and prayers to everybody out there. Hopefully everybody's being as safe as possible, as Josh Parker's going to take the top side here. Should remind you before we go green that you can check out 40racewear.com for all your iRacing accessories for gloves and shoes and so on and so forth. Check out Jim Herrick and 40 Racewear. I wear the shoes when I race, and you can too, not to mention the gloves too, at 40racewear.com. They have some other stuff there and so much more. So the tradition of Sim500 here this year has been different than a lot of previous seasons. The driving has been a lot more aggressive. The cautions have been up, unfortunately. The racing has been incredible. I mean, there's been some great racing, but there's been some wrecks that have been, I think, avoidable at the same time. But that, when you turn the aggressiveness up, you're going to get that. But one trend that has seemed to catch this series with a bug is the cautions coming to the checkered flag. Let's hope that's not the case here. Let's get 3 green flag clean laps here as we come to the finish of race number 17 here from the Irish Hills of Michigan. Virtualand iRacing green flag as Parker leads Macklin. Kelly, McMillan, and then the 2 unit cars of Fuller and O'Rourke in front 3 rows. Watch for O'Rourke. He's been ripping the boards here throughout this race as Kelly all the way to the bottom. Fuller right there about to groove up. Kelly gets a little free off the corner. As Macklin clears for the lead, and here comes Parker. Two laps to go. Fuller trying to push Macklin. The door banging. Kelly trying to push Parker. Macklin trying to push, Fuller trying to push Macklin. As they come off turn 4, they will make it back to the white flag. Final lap here for Michigan. Three wide for second, almost 4 wide for the leader, close. Karlovage to the apron back here. Three wide for the lead, 4 wide for second or fifth or whatever position that is. They're wrecking everywhere. To the line, contacted Parker. Parker with the win over Macklin. I had to think about that for a second because I'm sitting there like, wait a minute, they're battling side by side 3 wide for first. That means they're like 5 wide for fourth technically. There's a whole bunch of mess going on there. That was crazy though. So big win there for Josh Parker as he burns it down. And it's actually his first win of this 2024 campaign. So big win there for the 81 car who comes back after the off weeks and puts her in victory lane. He was 23rd entering the points tonight. Remember I talked about anybody could jump up in there and get to the playoffs. There's your guy potentially. With Parker getting the win. Great job and a great finish. We'll show the replay here of the finish momentarily. Obviously going to have some happy people about it, some not so happy people about it. But Parker wins it by 1/100th of a second, 19 1,000ths, however you want to look at it, over Macklin. Braxton DeWeese comes back to third. Chad Coleman fourth. McMillan fifth. Nelson Rivera sixth. Tyler Dalton seventh. Karlovage eighth. Kevin Stone ninth. Van Schaik finishes 10th. Joe Hudson 11th. E.J. O'Rourke. Jordan Berry. Eric Arnold. Pedro Mojica. And where in the world is Mike Kelly? Brian Wortman. Gerald Livingston. Scott Simley. There is Kelly 19th. Justin Fuller 20th. Gillenwater 21st. Campbell, Scott, Stevens, Schweikert, Your top 25, Schrader, Martell, last car in the lead lap. Everybody else was off the track behind the wall, from Sean Macklin all the way down to Kevin DeBrown, who wrecked on unfortunate lap 1 of the race. Back to the finish in the mayhem there. I mean, like I said, you had 3 cars battling for the lead off turn 4. You had... Get off. You had 4 cars battling for what was technically 4th. I was going to say 2nd, and that's why I just changed it to whatever position that is. Man, as car lavage drives this thing nearly to Detroit on the bottom. 2 cars tangled back there. I think that was Simley. I mean, here they're 4 wide. Here they're 3 wide. They start dooring each other. Back here, everybody just comes together, and then Fuller, unfortunately, innocent bystander here. Car lavage goes cutting the grass. Unfortunately, Kelly and those guys end up on the rough end of that. Wow. Craziness. Great finish to a race that had its ups and downs here tonight. As somebody snuck in the chat here with me. Is this Josh?
Hello.
Oh, you're being sneaky.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
How are you?
I'm doing wonderful.
I'm doing wonderful.
The captain is the best broadcaster in the world. Exactly. Good win.
Great broadcast.
Thanks, buddy. Talk about that restart there, because it got kind of hectic.
That was kind of hectic. It was fun. It's been a while since you raced with all these off weeks, but you challenged me because you told me.
I did.
What did you tell me? I haven't won in like 3 years.
Yeah, something like that's something shocking that blew yours and my mind.
Yeah, so I had to put an end to that. So I had some strategy on my side that helped out. But yeah, it's my going in the last lap. I was just trying to side drive Fuller a little bit to stay side by side with him, just because I'm actually battling for points to make it into the playoffs right on the cut. So I was actually thinking of that, and then going into the last turn, I was thinking, just the way I was positioned, there was no real threat to Macklin other than Fuller, so he was definitely comfortable with Fuller, at least going into the turn. So me being a little bit further back, I thought quickly it would be a good idea that would be the best time to kind of make a move like that, catching him off guard, knowing that he had his teammate behind him, and a little bit extra gap between me. So I used that and to try to slide job. I wasn't going to hit him. I mean, I think we touched a little bit, but the whole time I was thinking that was just kind of scare tactic, and the worst I was going to finish would be 3rd or 4th. And then I saw it actually kind of work, so I stayed in it, and then I saw Fuller was outside, so I made sure to give Macklin room, and then I saw Fuller drive himself into the wall. So then I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this just worked. So that's how we ended up here.
Well, it's your what I see 47th win, I think, overall just now in the Sim500 series. I think I saw that real quickly. I peeked at it and then jumped to another screen. 10th win in the Xfinity Series, and yes, it has been since, I remind you again, since March 20th of 2022.
That's great. That's great. What race was it?
That was the race where you and Falkingham, I think, got together, wasn't it?
Wait,
in the dogleg? Didn't you two touch in the dogleg that race?
Did I win?
Yes.
Then who cares? I don't. You're probably right. You're probably right. I mean, I can't believe that's almost 3 years.
Some of those stats kind of, but you know what? If you need a motivational speaker, just come find me, and I will give you something to motivate you.
I know. I remember, when I first came back to sim racing, and running leagues 5 years ago. I think I went through a drought I kept finishing second in the Monday series, and I didn't win for 4 years, and then I finally won. So, yeah.
Wow, I'm really looking at some numbers here. So, believe it or not, you had actually not finished in the top 3 for almost 2 years at one point.
Yeah, well, that's an altered stat because when if I'm not in it for points, I'll quit halfway through a race if I get bored.
Much true. Who doesn't do that most of the time?
So yeah, that's an altered stat. Like if you look at my come on, look at the finishes here. Last 31st, 11th, 32nd, 16th, 2nd, 24th, 32nd, 1st.
Well, it gives you a reason now to go up through the points.
Right, and anything with double-digit finishes has an incident next to it. So what does that tell you?
You just walked away.
Disconnected, running.
Pull
Disconnected,
Parker.
disconnected, running.
Do we have a new term? Pull the Parker?
There you go. Pull a Parker. There you go. You can interview the next guy though, so you get on.
Hey, send some shout outs real quickly, and you're 18th in points after this.
I think what's it, top 20 or top 16?
Top 16. You're 2 out. Two positions. But send some shout outs.
All right, we're getting closer. Shout out for you for calling me out on not winning. And doing the broadcast. Everyone at Sim500, Chad, everyone with team name, whatever the hell we call that team now. Pedro, Kevin, all those guys. So yeah.
Well, congrats on your win, and it's been 5 minutes since you last went to victory.
I appreciate it.
You
See
too, buddy. Josh Parker, the winner here tonight, as he just popped in and wanted to chat. So let's talk to him and get him out of the way. So great job on his part. As that was a wild one. Let's talk to Braxton, who finishes in the third position. As Braxton, you bring it home. A tough race, obviously. Strategy going back and forth everywhere with tires and not getting tires, or pitting and not pitting, and so on and so forth. And obviously, you guys are 8 cars under a blanket coming to the finish there, and you come out third. This is where you unmute your mic. He might not hear me. He might have walked away for a second. Usually he'll mute his mic. That's why I'm giving him a second here. All Braxton's people are like messaging him. Dude, unmute your mic. What are you doing? And
hello.
There he is. Or just do the leave chat and come back.
Hopefully it can stay together here enough for the interview. So hopefully we ain't got no more problems. It's pretty annoying.
It's all good, my man. Well, hey, third place finish tonight. Obviously, but strategy. Oh, yeah, we're losing you again. You okay there?
There we go. Yep, I hear you.
Okay, there we go. Cool. Third place finish, obviously, everywhere with strategy and so on and so forth. And to come out with this kind of finish, got to be satisfying.
Yeah, most definitely. We were 9th going on to the final lap there. So with all them wrecking there, I was pretty much just saying wreck. I was hoping they'd all wreck, and they ended up wrecking in time there, coming off forward, and we were lucky to be able to come and talk to you tonight. So I'm glad we could keep up the momentum. I believe we got a third place finish at Nashville like 3 or 4 weeks ago. Felt like forever ago. So I'm glad we could at least keep it up from that far long ago. So happy that we could get through that and ultimately, get to third, because the strategy that I had picked there just didn't work with how the cautions played and stuff. So, like I said, I'm glad it ended up working out, and glad we could keep it up and have another good points day.
Well, obviously a crazy race with the cautions and stuff in there, and looks like unfortunately Miles had a rough race here tonight on his return running P2 there. So that points lead is just going to continue to get bigger.
Yeah, and you love to see getting a gain, but you hate to see your competitors get out early and gaining points that way. So it's unfortunate what happened to him and Mike, but it's just a part of racing. It happens, unfortunately. More some to others. It just depends on where your car is and if you got some luck. So hopefully they can get back together next week and have a good run, and hopefully we can have a good run as well and keep it up. I believe we're going to Chicagoland, so that should be a pretty good race, and we should be all over the joint there.
Well, great job tonight, man. Send some shout outs to whoever you like to, buddy.
Yeah, for sure. Big shout out to Booth 34 Diecast. He's in the main antique mall over there in Mooresville. It's a beautiful big brick building. There's an Italian pizzeria to the left of it if you're going south, and it's obviously to the right if you're going in towards Mooresville downtown area. So he's in there. He's obviously in booth number 34, so that helps out a little bit with the name, and you can go check him out. He has a wide variety of die casts and different brands and stuff, all the good stuff from the 90s and the early 2000s and stuff, and a little bit so on more to the modern as well. So big shout out to him. The win's coming. You know, we're consistent with the finishes and stuff. Just need to be a little bit better there in the end. So big shout out to him, as well as Interstate Ford, Bennett's Publical, Jane's on Main, Allen's Arts Images, DeWeese Renovations, Unrivaled Cinematography, Blaze Designs, and Bully Dog Coffee Company. You can use Brax5 for 10% off there if you get you some coffee. So I hope it helps everybody out. So I appreciate him for doing that, and I appreciate everybody tuning in and rooting on the car. We'll get that win here in this league. We're having some success in other leagues, and I hope to continue that and ultimately do the best I can in all of them. So I appreciate everybody that tunes in and watches me, and hopefully we can get the win at Chicagoland.
I would advise go talk to Josh Parker. Apparently I motivated him to win, so now it's your turn.
Yeah, I need some strategy to go my way.
All right, buddy. Hey, good job.
I appreciate it. Have a good one.
You too. Braxton DeWeese, the third place finisher here tonight, is great job on his part. Is Brian Macklin falls up a little bit short, unfortunately, tonight, finishing in the second position. Brian, obviously, I not much many things you could do different, I think, there, but is there anything immediately that you saw from in-car that you were like, man, I should have done that different?
Yeah, I think I backed the corner up a little bit too much on corner entry there into turn 3. I knew Josh was going to make that deep dive into the corner, so I wanted to be able to get the run off, and I backed off too much, which let Fuller get to my outside, and then, all the contact happened, and it was a fun race, though. I mean, Michigan's always one of those tracks where you can have some pretty wild finishes, and I had a lot of fun. I don't run this series full time, so I pop in here and just try to go for the win, and if it doesn't work out, then we'll try again next time.
Yeah, obviously, you put up a valiant effort. Strategy just kind of worked out there for you, and it seemed like on the long run you had a car that took off. I know you reeled in, I think it was Parker, and I can't remember, I think it was DeWeese. That was the other car that had pulled away a little bit, and you kind of reeled them right back in.
Yeah, we all, the three of us, we decided to take the set of tires there when everybody else didn't, and I knew I was going to have to run those tires for a long time because I only had one more set laying in the pits at that point. So I did what I could to get through the field cleanly, but I didn't try to abuse them. And those two got out there and they were racing pretty hard, so I just kind of let them do their thing. And then I caught them, and the dirty air was just so bad. I got past Parker when he let me go, and then I was behind Braxton, and I couldn't do anything with him because the dirty air was just terrible. But it was going to be fun to see how it played out if we didn't have the caution to split up the green flag pit stops. I think I might have ran a little too long, but it would have been fun to see what happened.
Well, great job tonight, man. Congratulations, and send some shout-outs to whoever you like to, bud.
Yeah, of course. Got to thank you for doing the broadcast. It's cool to go back and watch these from time to time. Got to thank all the sponsors here at Sim500 for putting on the show and giving us the opportunity to do this. Same thing with the admins. It's a headache behind the scenes. I don't think very many people realize that, but they put up with a lot, and without them, we wouldn't be here. So got to thank the American Lung Association, as always, a big part of my life. Got to thank the U.S. Navy. I run them on Wednesday nights, and all of our other servicemen and women that help keep us free and allow us to do the things we love.
Well said, man. Congratulations, and great job on your P2, bud.
Yes, sir. Talk to you later.
You too, buddy. Brian Macklin finishing in the second position here tonight. Congratulations to him and all the drivers that finished in the top 3 this evening. As a wild return to the racing here on Sunday night with you this week. Had some cautions early, a couple cautions late, but we actually had a great finish in the end. 8 cars under a blanket, 3 wide in the front, 4 or 5 wide for what would be 4th, I guess, technically, and so on and so forth. So we'll replay the replay here as we head off the air. But big shout out to 811, of course, NC811.org in particular for sponsoring the series. As always, big shout out to Joey Jatina for allowing me to be a part of the series now for 3 years now, as we've been here together, and looking forward to the future as always. Big shout out to the viewers, best as always, and look forward to more of those YouTube shorts. Going to work on another couple here tonight and get those together, but big thanks to everybody for helping us out, for continuing to make this a lot of fun to do. Had personally a little bit of a rough weekend on the broadcast side. Was wanting to broadcast a couple Indy 500s. It didn't work out. And it's just the way it goes. Sometimes you don't get your way in life as it goes. But we move on. We'll come back tomorrow night from Worldwide Technology Raceway, a.k.a. Gateway. and get you ready for some more Sim500 racing there. So enjoy the rest of your Sunday night. And always remember, this isn't just a game, it's iRacing. See ya!
This copyrighted broadcast may not be reproduced, reused, or retransmitted in any form without the authorized written consent of Captain Esports Network. Captain would like to thank all of his loyal fans for your continued support, and he hopes you enjoyed today's broadcast.
The following is a special presentation. From the Captain Esports Network.